We have a problem. The three biggest aviation hordes all picked a different #1 first class. So which one is actually the best? Well, over the next 80 hours, I'm flying all three of them, going from Australia all the way to America, which can cost up to $100,000, putting every part of the first class experience to the test to find out which airline truly deserves the #1 spot. Starting in Sydney, Australia, with Skytrack's first class winner of Singapore Airlines. How's it going? There you go. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Morning. Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Singapore Airlines first class. And honestly, my mind is just blown. Like, I know I've flown Singapore Airlines before, but this week, it's just insane. So as we take off from Sydney, headed to our first destination of Singapore, with our final destination being Chicago, like I said, we're putting every part of the first class experience to the test. And first up is the seat itself. So, welcome to our first airplane seat, or should I say home in the sky, because Singapore Airlines literally calls this seat a suite, with it being an absolute beast of a space. With the suite not only feeling big, but also like a cozy hotel room. Like every direction you look, it feels like a completely different room. For example, if we turn our seat to the right, we come in to the TV room area, which is a massive 32-inch TV, with also on the side here, there being a full-on closet area. But then if we turn our seat completely around this way, we come in to the vanity area, because inside these drawers here, you have a mirror and a bunch of different places to put your products for your face or your hair or anything else. And if you keep turning throughout the room, you come into your bedroom area, as there's a completely separate mattress here that turns into your bed later on. Like, this suite is so big, not only is there a seat, but you could fit an entire other person over here just lying down on the floor. But now entering into hour 2 and being still very much over Australia, I want to check out what I believe is one of the best indicators of the value you're getting of the amenities, or in other words, the free things. And in Singapore Airlines, they certainly do not disappoint, with first and foremost here, us not having just an amenity kit, but having a luxury curated bag from Lalique, with inside here having anything from a massive bottle of cologne to Lalique facial mist to body lotion to some fancy lip balm, to then there being a second amenity bag with inside there being Lalique pajamas. And just overall, it feeling like they keep on bringing more and more stuff for the amenities. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys saw this gift box I brought on board, but I'm actually headed to Chicago for my Nana's 98th birthday. And my side mission is to get her a gift in every country we visit. And when the flight attendants noticed the gift box, they brought over a little surprise.
For your grandma.
Oh,
This is our latest collection.
Oh, thank you so much. She's gonna love this. Yeah, thank you. How cool is this? However, moving into hour 3 now, the section I was looking forward to testing most was the food and drink section. And that's because during this section in every flight, I'm going to be asking the flight attendants to simply surprise me and curate the best possible meal they can for me. Oh, wow. For the first course, we have the, I guess you would call it aperitif course of the chicken satay, which is a Singapore specialty and looks unbelievable. Like, I house those things and I think like 3 bites.
Caviar.
Okay, thank you very much. Looking absolutely stunning and coming in a pretty large container there. Like, I'm pretty sure that's 30 grams of caviar, which is something like $300. With the only way to describe this course being an absolute statement from Singapore Airlines that this is going to be a meal to remember.
Oh, just be careful.
So what is this?
Prawn ravioli.
Oh, and honestly, this is something that I probably would not normally order, which is the exact reasoning behind me having them surprise me. So I'm so excited to see how this tastes. Unreal. Like, seriously, that was one of the most flavorful foods I've ever had on an airplane. Oh, wow. Wow, incredible. But these courses just keep on getting more and more impressive, with for a main course having a lobster thermidor. Truly making this dish, I think, one of the most luxurious things you can get on an aircraft. Okay, this meal has officially entered into a completely different level. Oh, wow. And what is this here?
This is apple crumble cake with vanilla blend ice cream.
Okay, I honestly thought we hit the peak with the lobster, but ladies and gentlemen, in front of us for a dessert course, we have not only this beautiful looking apple crumble in front of us, but we have 3 different wines. As the crew have kind of come together to make me a red wine tasting. But okay, just give me a second here. Holy crap, that tasted incredible. Wow, look at that. I love cheese. From having anything from cheddar cheese to blue cheese to a brie to goat cheese. Now also with this plate, the sommelier has continued to surprise us with having not 1 but 3 different choices here of white and sweet wines. So being here with 3 different wines and 4 different types of cheeses, I don't even know where to begin, but I guess let's try them all. And truthfully, wrapping up a meal that I will always remember. But after all that eating, I have to use the bathroom, which honestly makes for a perfect time to conduct the bathroom test, which on Singapore Airlines is incredibly impressive with being enormous and honestly feeling a bit like a spa. Like, let me show you guys around. Like, first of all, over here we have this beautiful prep/vanity area, which underneath the beautiful mirrors are all of these various amenities. But then if you continue on past the vanity area, you come into, I guess you would say, like the plant observation section, which has an unlimited amount of toilet paper here. Since right next to the plant, you come into your toilet area, which as you can see is not your everyday airline toilet. With then last and certainly not least, there being a sink area here, which has a bunch of different other Lalique luxury amenities. This bathroom I think is bigger than my own bathroom at home. But anyway, I'm gonna head back to our suite now because it's hour 5 now and we've reached the time to test what I believe is the most important category of them all, of the sleep test. And the flight attendants have just transformed our suite into our bedroom, so I'm so excited to see the difference. Oh man, would you just take a look at this? With, ladies and gentlemen, this being a full-blown real bed. Like, normally in first class seats, you have a bed that transforms from the seat itself, but this is a legit mattress here. But to properly experience and test this category, we of course have to sleep, so I'm just gonna change into my pajamas with a little flick of the wrist, which I'm not gonna lie, are so comfy. But anyway, I will see you guys in a couple of hours. Probably the best sleep I've ever gotten on an airplane before. I could have slept for the entire rest of the plane. However, there are a few more tests to do that I would truly like to experience. Like now, in hour 7, we've reached my favorite part of every long-haul flight of the entertainment. And in our suite here, we have this massive TV that faces your bed and has a bunch of different movies and TV shows to choose from, with them also offering a bunch of different snacks that they can serve to you directly to you in your bed while you're watching your movie of choice. Which also means we're going to test them on the hardest category of them all, of the service, where in each airline, to give the fairest assessment of this category, I'll test them on the exact same thing, being the call button test, which if you didn't know is a little button or sign in every airplane seat in the world from economy to first class. And I choose this test because honestly, I've had seats where flight attendants come in literal seconds and others where they take, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes to come. So truthfully, this is a test that can make or break an airplane seat. So let's press this button here and see how fast they come. Oh, hello. That was so quick.
I just happened on it. I wanted to come in to offer
Oh my
some
gosh,
tips.
you read my mind. So sitting here in my bed with, I'm pretty sure, the most epic snack an airline offers. I gotta say, Singapore Airlines absolutely crushed this section. And honestly, the next few hours were just complete bliss, with me eating this delicious burger and watching an incredible movie. But as we land in Singapore, I completely understand why Skytrax crowned this the world's #1 first class. And their first competitor is an airline that's been rated the world's #1 first class, but also the most luxurious. But before that, I have a very important job of finding Nana's gift here in Singapore. Goodbye! Bye! Thank you! I'm amazing. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Wow, look at this. Whoa. Okay, this is entirely different than Singapore Airlines first class. And honestly, it makes sense because Etihad has not only been rated the #1 first class, but also the most luxurious. You could say I'm curious to see what this experience is gonna be like. So as we take off in hour 25, with our next destination being Abu Dhabi, it's officially time to start this matchup where we'll compare each category and pick a winner for every test. And whoever has the most points moves on to the final round. So with that said, welcome to our second home in the sky. Because instead of calling this a suite, ladies and gentlemen, Etihad calls this the apartment. And honestly, just looking around, I can see why. Like, we have not only this massive leather seat here, but also a full-length couch here, which is so big that you could literally lie down on it, being a full 6.5 inches, which also on this side there being a 24-inch TV with having a separate touchscreen controller area that controls not only the TV but also this seat's cushion firmness, or my favorite feature of them all being the massage feature. Oh my gosh, getting a massage on board an aircraft at 30,000 feet. This is insane. Continuing on to this side here, we have our beauty corner, having a 3-panel vanity mirror setup. But then below the vanity mirror, you have this compartment here, which opens up to having your own personal mini bar, which you can stock with any beverage you'd like, with also having this compartment here, which opens up to having a full-length closet. But with that all said, as much as I love the apartment concept, I do have to give this one to Singapore Airlines, because Singapore Suites had pretty much everything Etihad had, but it's 10 feet larger. However, what Etihad's really known for is luxury, and there's no better section to see the luxurious elements than the amenity section, with getting not just an amenity kit, but a full-blown Giorgio Armani leather bag here, which first and foremost has a luxurious bag of Espa products, having hand and body lotion, overnight hydration therapy cream, mouthwash, nourishing lip treatment, which I'm pretty sure is just chapstick, but luxurious. Then we have this luxury snack basket here, a revitalization set, having an eye mask, sheet mask, earplugs, dental floss, toothbrush, and a little vanity kit. But the real star of the show are the PJs, being again Giorgio Armani. Now, along with all of that, Etihad also offers additional amenities on request, having a full-blown menu of options to choose from. So I mean, all in all, from the frickin' Giorgio Armani bag to the Giorgio Armani PJs to having just an insane amount of amenities to choose from. As much as I thought Singapore Airlines had great amenities, Etihad, I mean, there's no competition here, so we officially have a tied matchup. But moving into hour 26, it's time to test the food and drink section, which on Etihad, they supposedly have the most luxurious menu served in the sky, and I can hear them preparing it in the back right now. And when they're doing that, I want to answer a question I've been seeing a lot lately of how do I even go about planning trips like this? And to explain that, I have to show you something that it's a bit embarrassing. Like, before I even book a ticket, I have literally 50 tabs open, comparing flights, hotels, and reviews. It gets out of hand pretty fast. But recently I've been doing something that's been an absolute game changer of using Opera. For example, these are called tab islands. Like, instead of having one giant mess of tabs, I can group everything together, so flights are over here, hotels over there, and the reviews just there. Then if I switch over to vertical tabs, I can actually read every page title instead of trying to guess which tiny tab is which. But honestly, my favorite feature is Opera AI. It's actually been upgraded to be faster, smarter, and more powerful, and I can just ask it questions about whatever page I'm already looking at, and I don't even need an Opera account to use it. Then over here I have my Gmail and Google Calendar that's pinned into the sidebar, and I can customize it with tools I actually use. So thank you so much to Opera for sponsoring this video, and be sure to check them out with using the link in the description box below. Anyway, our first course is now arriving, and I am so excited to experience this meal. Oh, beautiful. So for the first course here, the crew has chosen the caviar. But this caviar course, dare I say it's on another level, being the top caviar you can possibly get of numero uno Ostera caviar, and just with the presentation looking unbelievable. So I gotta say, the crew is making some great choices so far.
You ready for the next surprise?
Yes, I am. I love this. It's so fun.
The concept of surprise.
But moving on to the second course, we have an absolute beast of a course here, with having the Arabic meze in front of us, which not only has a main plate here, having Arabic bread and a few other fried things, but then having this second plate here, having baba ganoush, hummus, and a salad, with each and every plate in this Arabic meze just being unbelievable.
So this one is the sorbet of the day, is with the cassis flavor.
Ah, okay, a little palate cleanser then.
Exactly.
Okay. I've heard of palate cleansers before being at Michelin star restaurants. Never an airplane, so this meal honestly just keeps on impressing me more and more. Okay, wow, beautiful. But moving on to the main course now, we have the steak, served on a bed of polenta with grilled mushrooms on top and vegetables on the side. However, the best part about this dish is what goes on top, and that's the truffle sauce, being probably the most expensive possible sauce in the world, as truffles go for a crazy amount per pound, with the steak being perfectly cooked and with the truffle sauce just being magnificent. Whoa. But moving on to the fourth course here, we have the most beautiful cheese plate, with served on the plate here having these little blocks of jam and with flowers. Like, after absolutely destroying this cheese tray, all I gotta say is this meal has just been unbelievable. Oh, what is this? Whoa.
I promise you not the same price.
Yeah,
How's the glass first?
it's so cool. Oh my gosh. And for dessert, we have a beautiful tray of things here. From having a plate of Arabic pastries to then a chocolate box with one having gold leaf on top of it. And then one of the coolest glasses I think I've ever seen on an airplane or on the ground. Like, just look at that thing. Completing truly a meal that from the first course to the last course was one of a kind. However, even though this meal was amazing, just taking a look at the menu, the flight attendants actually didn't have too many things to choose from. So even though both meals were unbelievable, I think I have to give Singapore Airlines a bit of an edge here. But being now in hour 28, it's time for the entertainment category, which, as I said during the accommodation section, there is this massive TV here. However, through those doors there's something one of a kind on this airplane, where we have to walk to the middle of the plane, where there's a full-blown bar, which have these massive bench type seats here, a TV, and of course the bar setup, with us going with a tea martini here, with it looking and also tasting incredible. And honestly, just overall, with it being just super cool to be in a bar on a plane here. So needless to say, Etihad certainly takes this section. But now, as we head back to our apartment here, we've reached the most important section of them all, of the sleep section, where I believe the flight attendants have turned our apartment into the night mode, with us having a bed here that's completely disconnected from our airplane seat, being transformed from the couch area, with also having a total of 3 pillows. However, seeing is not good enough for this section. No. So without further ado, let's get our PJs on, and I'll see you guys in a few hours with the final verdict here. Wow, that was one incredible sleep. And shout out to all of you that just yawned because of that massive yawn right there. Honestly, thoughts on this bed? It's tough to say who wins, but when it comes down to it, this is a couch and Singapore Airlines is a full-blown mattress. So even though I slept well in both of them, I think I gotta give the edge to Singapore Airlines here. But now being in hour 32 and locked into an incredibly tight battle, we come down to the bathroom test. Whose bathroom will be better? Will it be cleaner? Will it be cooler? What amenities will be in there? But anyway, I'm gonna head there now and see how this bathroom is. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Etihad's bathroom, which first impressions, this is certainly smaller than Singapore Airlines, looking just like a nice version of a typical bath. However, that is before you look to the other side, as there's a freaking shower on board here, which I'm not gonna lie, it's tough to beat having a shower on board. So this one definitely goes to Etihad, and we officially have a tied matchup again, which means it all comes down to the toughest test of them all, being the service. So let's press the call button here and see how fast they come. I gotta call it. I don't really understand what has happened here because everything else has been great. And it's honestly a shame because just an hour later...
This is not if Thomas you
Oh, that's That's so sweet of you guys. They came back with a handwritten letter for Nana saying happy birthday in every language the crew speaks, and even gave me a second Giorgio Armani bag to give to her. But as we land in hour 34, Singapore Airlines officially has won, and we'll move on to face Emirates. But before that, I took advantage of one of the perks of Etihad's first class of a free stopover at a 5-star hotel. But now back at the airport in hour 64, and with Nana's second gift, it's time to start the final matchup. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, welcome. How are you?
Good. How are you? Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this: Singapore Airlines versus Emirates. So as we take off from Dubai, headed all the way over to Chicago, welcome to the newest first-class seat from Emirates, where recently this cabin went through a $2 billion renovation, which I gotta say, looking around, I can tell. With first and foremost us having the largest seat we've seen thus far, which has functions in here that honestly I didn't believe until I read Emirates' website. Like, this seat is said to be designed with inspiration from NASA, as when you're in bed, you feel like you're floating in zero gravity. Anyway, we'll test that later, but that next level feel is seen throughout this entire suite, with, for example, having a retractable mini bar, to then over here us having a literal iPad that sort of is like your universal remote for anything in this suite, to then over here us having the largest TV we've seen thus far at over 36 inches, to then right next to your TV there being a vanity area, but I will say it is significantly smaller than Singapore suites, with Singapore's being about double the size. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Singapore for this one. However, Emirates' real specialty are their amenities, with unlike any other airline we've seen yet, the amenities being spread all around the suite. Like, for example, if we move Nana's birthday gift to the side here, in the vanity area, we have a full-on facial kit. But it doesn't just stop there. No. Like, directly located next to the vanity area, they have a notebook and pen. And then right above that, they have a snack basket that's full with snacks that are probably the most luxurious I've seen. But ladies and gentlemen, it again does not stop there. Like, underneath our seat here, we have not one, but two more amenity kits, with the first being in a leather Bulgari bag, having anything from Bulgari cologne to hydrating body emulsion to aftershave, lip balm, shaving cream, a razor, comb, and tissues. But then we have this enormous Emirates tote bag, which is honestly cool in itself, but inside there's the most over-the-top pajamas I think on any airplane, with when you wear them, chamomile being soaked in your skin, to then there being these super comfy slippers. So yeah, needless to say, I am impressed with looking at Emirates amenities compared to the other airlines. But now in hour 68, we move on to the food and drink service, which Emirates offers a menu that is by far the largest we've seen at being 30 pages long. Like, look at that thing. It's literally a book. And just like the other seats, I've given the crew complete control over my meal. So I am so excited to see what they choose from this 30-page menu. So for the first course here, we have the amuse-bouche, which changes every day, and both look absolutely incredible. All I can say is the chef, they certainly know what they're doing. Holy crap, that was off the charts good. Oh wow, look at that.
It's better than chef.
Wow. Oh my gosh, and continuing on with this incredible meal, we have the caviar. And you know, I've had caviar in the other two airlines, but we have not even had anywhere close to this amount. Just take a look at that thing. It's like an entire silver container chocked full of caviar. And it's so crazy to say, but being just like every other caviar in this video, unbelievable.
Oh, excellent. Would you like some more caviar? Another portion?
I can't say no to that.
Yeah,
Thank you
I'll
so
get
much.
another one.
You guys are spoiling me here.
That's what we're here for.
And I was already impressed with the first portion of caviar, but this is obscene. Like, every portion here is a solid $300. Okay. Life is so good right about now.
How's everything over here?
Perfect.
One more?
I think I'm gonna stop it too,
Sure?
but thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. It was amazing.
Sure?
Yeah.
Because we have plenty. I can get you one more. Oh, menas.
Okay, let's do it. Why not? Wow. Round 3. Okay, all I have to say is, Emirates, you are just ridiculous. Like, this is over the top and unbelievable.
So I chose the tandoori lobster.
Oh, very nice. It looks beautiful. Again, this is a dish that I normally would not choose, but it looks unbelievable and I'm super excited to try it. All right, all I have to say is I am shocked by this meal. And when combined with the incredible wine, I mean, this is one special meal, and I absolutely housed that lobster.
Ready for the surprise?
Yes! Alright, what do we got next here?
Beef steak.
Oh, let's go. Wow, so moving on to the next course, ladies and gentlemen, this is incredible. Like, I certainly did not have a surf and turf experience on my bingo card today. And on the side here, they've given me not only a glass of red wine, but a full-blown carafe of it. Which again, this wine is one of the fanciest wines I've ever had on an airplane. Like, what I love about this meal is it's not only the best valued meal we've received on this entire journey, but also you can tell there's actual thought going into how to make this the most unique meal possible. So all I have to say is let's keep this meal going. But moving on to the dessert course, we have the beautiful apple pie served with crème anglaise and salted caramel sauce, which, I mean, just like every other food, was incredible. Like, truthfully, unreal. Whoa. Yes, please.
Try all of them. But I'll
Okay.
let me know when you're ready for the next course.
Will do.
I chose your whole itinerary.
Really? Okay. Oh, man. And we have the best course to finish up here of the chocolate course, where I've just been given a selection of 9 different chocolates to choose from, and we've selected, well, all of them. Anyway, served on the side of it, we have a cognac here that might be the most expensive drink on any first class in the world, costing $4,000 a bottle. Anyway, taking a bite of each one of these unique and delicious chocolates and drinking this crazy luxurious cognac, there's no question in my mind that this was not only the most unique, not only the best value, but also just overall the downright most delicious meal we've had on this entire trip so far. So this matchup is just getting completely out of control here. And honestly, I have to take a little bit of a break because this is too much, which makes it the perfect time for the sleep section, which honestly, in the best way possible, feels like a super luxurious capsule hotel, with the flight attendants also telling me that the seat has a zero gravity function, which is inspired by NASA technology to make the seat feel like you're floating. Like, that is some next level stuff. But anyway, enough talking. Let's get to my favorite test of them all, of sleeping. Okay. Final verdict. It does matter to have a real mattress as a bed, so this one 100% goes to Singapore. But now being in hour 72 of 80, we've reached the entertainment section. And in our suite here, we of course have a bunch of different movies on this TV. But ladies and gentlemen, Emirates also offers Starlink for Wi-Fi, with having Wi-Fi that's even faster than my apartment's Wi-Fi. Like, the Wi-Fi is so strong, you can even FaceTime on this plane. But on top of all of that, they also offer a completely separate movie snack menu, where I've asked the flight attendants to surprise us again with whatever movie snacks they'd like. Oh,
This is a lobster.
okay. This is amazing.
By the way, do you know what to watch?
No, I mean, what's your recommendation for a movie?
I mean, I'm a bit biased because
Yeah.
there is this Brazilian movie, The
Okay.
Secret Agent. Have you heard of it?
No. Okay, I feel like Emirates is just starting to flex on me now, with them surprising me here with not only every single movie snack, but also a movie recommendation. So needless to say, after absolutely crushing each and every one of these movie snacks, and watching a movie that I probably would never have watched, but is super good so far, Emirates, you have won this section. But now in hour 77, after all that food, it has to be the bathroom section, which is actually a bit of a tiny bathroom. Like, Emirates is normally known for having their bathroom with a shower, but that's only on the A380. And on this aircraft, which has the newer first class, it's unfortunately just kind of a normal bathroom. So this section, obviously, it goes to Singapore. Oh my gosh, which means being in the last hour of our journey here, we have a tied matchup, and it all comes down to the service section, to the craziest and most random test of them all, of the call button test. So I'm gonna put Singapore Airlines time up here, and let's see what happens. Oh my gosh, I am nervous, man. Hello. Could I have a Americano? Oh man, and it was close, but Singapore Airlines has officially won this section. Meaning, in my humble opinion, I crown them as the #1 rated first class. But as we land now, I have a very special present to deliver. Nana, I have a gift for you. So,
Look at this.
yeah.
Wow.
So-
Oh, look at this.
How many people get this kind of a card, huh?
You don't know how many people I talk about.
Oh, thank you.